Hello, hello. It's time for Fishing Friends. What's up, everybody? And welcome to another episode of Fishing Friends with Danny and Gina. I'm Danny,
I'm Gina.
and this is going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure if it's going to be a good one or a bad one, but it's going to be interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, First I want to start off and just say Happy Veterans Day to all of our, veterans out there, young and old. Um, and thank you for your service to our country and, you know, all around the world. You know, I celebrate all the veterans, no matter what side you were on, I guess, because, you sacrificed a lot for your country or our country, depending on where you're from. So thank you very
Right.
much. Uh, let's see. Since we got 5 people watching, but I don't see anything in chat, so nobody's been
Nobody's
saying
talking.
hi yet.
Everybody's lurking.
Yeah,
Everybody's being a creeper.
but yeah. So I had an interesting Veterans Day. Um, I'll just kind of start there since today is Veterans Day. I woke up and was gonna go out to get some breakfast at Denny's, and I went to the Denny's right close to my house because they were gonna do a free Grand Slam. So I'm like, all right, cool. So go to Denny's, get some coffee, get some breakfast, and I go to this location and somebody was just like, yeah, they're not doing the Veterans Day deal. They did it yesterday. I'm just like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So I drove to the Denny's closer to where I grew up and got seated and everything. I had like a normal menu and I was just like kind of like, I thought like there was like a veterans thing going. They didn't say anything about it either. So I actually looked up like on like military.com, Veterans Day deals and stuff. And sure enough, it did say Denny's was doing it on Friday for breakfast versus on Saturday, actually on Veterans Day. So I was a little mad about that, honestly,
Oh,
because you know, that basically takes it out on all the veterans that have normal working jobs, and only the older veterans can actually take advantage of that deal.
right.
So, it,
That's
it is
lame.
what it is. So I ended up going to IHOP
Mm-hmm.
where I, I ended up getting like a stack of red, white, and blue pancakes, which was nice. That and I bought some, sausage links and poached eggs and hash browns to go with it. But yeah, so there's like blueberries, strawberries, and whipped cream. So it's red, white, and blueberry. Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
That was
That's
really good.
that's good.
And then I, kind of came back home and was chilling for a while, drinking my IHOP coffee because they gave me a little to-go cup, which was nice. And
That's nice.
then I ended up going out to Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner, and that was pretty good. The waitress did end up accidentally charging me for my wings and fries, but I kind of mentioned it. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just totally like spaced or whatever," and so I'm gonna
Yeah.
get a refund back on that, but. It is what it is, and then stopped at Smoothie King on the way home and got myself a smoothie for free,
Smoothie.
so that was nice.
Lando, hello, hello.
Fishing outdoors with Lando, what's up, dude? So that was pretty much my Veterans Day in a nutshell. A little bit frustrating, a little bit of free stuff. Pretty much nobody even other than a couple other military people even said anything as far as Happy Veterans Day or anything like that. Other than I was talking to this kid next to me at Buffalo Wild Wings a little bit because there was this really strange couple that came in and sat next to us a little bit later in the night, and the lady was pretty drunk or something like that because she was just like, "Oh my god, I'm starving," and she like kept saying that like every 2 minutes. "Oh my god, I'm starving. Where's my food?" And I was just like, "Oh." And I'm sitting there like kind of talking to this kid next to me who was it was funny because the waitress, she kind of looked like she was Chinese and she had a tattoo of a snake on her on the side of her neck. So I was like, is that snake tattoo because you were born in the year of the snake, or does it just mean something else or whatever? She's like, no, it doesn't mean anything. I'm not even born. I don't even know what year I was born. I think maybe the year of the horse or something like that. But that doesn't mean. I'm like, so you just like snakes? She's like, no, I don't even like snakes. I'm like, so why do you get a
Okay.
snake tattoo on the side of your neck if you don't even like snakes? I don't know, but so I was kind of talking to the kid that it's just like, because he was born in the year of the snake, and I was born in the year of the snake.
Me too.
I was born in '89 year of the snake. He was born
Mm-hmm.
in 2001 year of the snake.
Oh.
Because it repeats every 12 years.
Yep.
And thank you, Fishing Outdoors Orlando. What's up, Bex? How you doing?
Bex. What's up?
Um,
What's up?
so I was kind of joking with him that it's like, man, I'm glad I'm not this guy that has to listen to that all the time. Because
Right.
and he's like, yeah, they say there's somebody out there for everybody.
Mick M. Hello, hello.
SWFL treasure detecting
So is that
fish
Southwest
family.
Florida? Is that what SWFL stands for? Southwest Florida? Treasure hunting? I don't, or treasure detecting? I don't know. I don't know what
Uh,
it stands for.
sup with fish loving. I don't know.
Hit that like button. It's free. Yeah.
It
Do
is
it.
free, and then it sends out the notification to other people that aren't watching.
Get the rest of the
Apparently, there's
family
this
here.
trick too that I need to remember to do. Apparently, there's a trick you can do with like the videos and notifications and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
where like there's something where you can say notify subscribers when uploaded and stuff like that. Apparently, you
Oh.
want to uncheck that because
Oh.
then whenever people do watch your video and like it and stuff like that, it'll send out notifications and stuff like that to other people that aren't subscribed to you
Hold
that
on.
kind of like your sort of stuff or
Well, I
whatever.
guess it's too late now. I'll have to look at that next time.
And it automatically puts your videos like into the new like people's like feed as well, because it's not like being targeted to your subscribers, it's being targeted to everybody else.
Oh. Kyle. Hello, hello. Yes,
And I
Southwest
need to
Florida.
remember to
Ha!
do
I
that.
was right.
Fenoski and Patty's here.
Patty Vinovsky.
ATC Aviator.
That's Kyle. That's Bex's husband.
uh,
Greg D. Hello,
Greg
hello.
D. I got my brakes replaced on my car, and I had
Oh,
to get the
good.
front rotors replaced too because my brakes were that bad.
Lame. Tisk, tisk,
um,
tisk. Change your brake pads, kids.
but yeah, in general, I had a pretty rough week though, because what I Sunday started off like a really good day. I was gaming with my friends and all that, and went out for karaoke. And then when I came home from karaoke, the house was just like abnormally quiet, and I was just kind of doing my thing. I didn't even really kind of notice it at first, but yeah, it was just completely quiet when I got home. And I looked in the bird cage, and sure enough, Lazuli, my male parakeet, was in the corner, and he
Oh,
has passed.
I'm sorry.
And so it's been a pretty rough week because yeah, it's just been really quiet in the house now, and he was just my little buddy.
Mm, I'm sorry. That
Yeah,
always that's really hard.
yeah,
How's your? I say there was a female too, right? How's
yeah.
she been?
Lapis seems to be doing fine. Uh, she still just doesn't really want anything to do with me.
Yeah.
And I feel kind of bad for her right now because, now she doesn't have anybody to hang out with. And she's kind of covered in all these little pin feathers on her head and stuff. And I just want to kind of help her with those. And, like, she just, if I go to one side of the cage, she just kind of moves to the other side of the cage and stays away from me. So
Yeah.
my parakeet, my little buddy, my male parakeet that's been on us with stream a couple times. He passed.
I'm
The lo-
sorry. I think.
La-
Oh, go ahead.
Lazalot
Yeah.
with a long eye at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wish I had
and
words
it's
to make it better, but I know.
yeah. Well, it's just like I just don't even know what happened because I was just like playing with him on like Friday and Saturday and stuff, and he seemed totally fine. The only weird thing was that I did notice, like on Saturday night, um, the night before he had passed or whatever, when I was putting the blanket over the cage that night, like he, for like the first time ever, like came like right up to the cage and was like almost even like he was trying to like cuddle with me as I was putting the blanket on versus just kind of like accepting that it was nighttime. And
Hmm.
so it's just like it was almost like he was kind of like trying to say goodbye to me or trying to come to me for comfort or something. And I don't know, but I birds are so good at like hiding their illnesses and stuff like that. And I just have no idea what happened to them at all. Like I
Yeah.
know we had some weird like temperature swings and things like that, and I've been having issues with my thermometer. So like sometimes like there's been random times that my house got abnormally hot, and then other times that my house got abnormally cold. And I had always been pretty good at keeping a solid 72 degrees in my house all the time. And didn't I adopted him from Pet Supplies Plus where I worked. He was injured, and I took him in and you know got him back to health, and I had him for like 2 years, and he was really, really, really cool. And yeah, he was just super sweet and awesome, and I just let him fly around. And now it's like I can't just like go and get another parakeet, especially
Right.
with like the behavior of Lapis too. Like it's gonna be hard to like train another parakeet with that other behavior going on. It's gonna learn more from the other bird versus learning from me. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna continue to take care of Lapis on her own until she passes. Hopefully, I got her for a while, and I can start to kind of build something with her
Hmm.
because yeah, the parakeets are supposed to live up to like 15 years and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Usually
So
about around somewhere around 15. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah. I was just about to say they hide their illnesses so well.
yeah, I wish they could tell us these things. But yeah, they're very much like cats or whatever too. Like cats will hide their sickness and all that stuff, and all of a sudden they'll just go find a corner somewhere where they can kind of hide, and they'll just curl up and die. And pretty much what he did. Like he just kind of curled up in the corner and died. And it happened when I was at karaoke, and I just have no idea what happened. I don't know if Tundra was involved and terrorized him at all. I don't know anything, and it's just I just
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah. It's not your fault. It was an accident, whatever it
Yeah,
was. So you just got to keep telling yourself that. You
yeah,
gave
I
him a
know it
good
wasn't my
home.
fault. I
So
know it wasn't
treasure.
my fault at all, but it's just like I just wish I knew what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Treasure detecting has a plant question. If I made a tank just for plants, do I need filters, air, etc.? At least flow, right? You still need circulation.
You really don't, depending. I mean, it's better mainly just because I have this fishbowl sitting right next to me, and it works for a betta fish. It's extra dark right now because I added a couple more of those alder cones in there recently, but I do have a problem of getting that a protein film on top,
Mm-hmm.
and that affects a lot of different things. So having something to kind of help break that up, like at least like a little sponge filter or an air stone or something like that, is nice, but it's not necessary. You can always just take like a little cup or something like that and skim the top.
Yeah. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think if I've been doing. Yeah, sorry for everybody who was looking forward to my stream on Wednesday. I did not stream because I definitely fell asleep. So,
Yeah,
and I slept so much Thursday the day after. I slept until like 10, and then after Nathan got home, I took a nap, like a solid 4-hour nap, and then I still went to bed at like 10, 10 or 11 that night. So I had a lot of sleep to catch up on.
yeah.
We missed you, Gina. I know, but I got Pokemon cards and stuff for this next one, so it'll be good.
I sat with my sister's hamster in my hands almost every night when I was 15. One night he passed my hands, so I know some of the feelings here. We need to be glad we got to know them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, and I'm totally I like I said, I still have one bird, and we're gonna see how it goes with her as far as Like I said, now that she doesn't have another companion, like if I like really try to work with her, maybe she'll start to kind of bond with me more. We'll see how it goes, but I definitely like at some point I want to get like a male parakeet or another type of bird sometime too, because man, having that little connection with that bird, man, it was just so crazy. I've never experienced that with like an animal before. I mean, like my cat's pretty darn smart, and we have like a mental connection, but he would just kind of look at me in this like kind of curiously cute way, and I'm never gonna forget that little look that he would give me.
Yeah. But yeah, there's whenever you are ready, there's always Star Avian Rescue, which is a local bird rescue.
Oh
They
yeah,
usually always have parakeets. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think next time, whenever my time with Lapis is done, I think you'll want to get like a bigger bird.
Like a conure or a cockatiel. Cockatiels are fun.
Maybe a cockatiel, maybe a conure, maybe a Quaker parrot. I don't know, because the cage that I have that now is just for Lapis. Like it's a conure size cage. It's nice and big, so I could definitely if I'm just going with a singular male parrot or parakeet or parrotlet of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe a lorikeet. I don't know. We shall see. I
Maybe.
really, I really want to get. I think it's called yeah, it's just called a red lorry,
Oh, red lorries, yeah.
and it
Lorries.
is just an absolutely beautiful. It's like
Mhm.
Spider-Man bird.
Yeah. So lorries have high energy.
Yeah,
You gotta be prepared for that. And they do have a special diet. It's not a normal parrot diet.
yeah, yeah. I know. That's more of like a visual dream. But yeah, like
Mhm.
look at how gorgeous that is. But yeah, in all actuality, a lorry would probably annoy me actually. So I don't need something quite like that.
Scuba
But
Steve, hello, hello.
Scuba Steve, oh, Crazy Catfish Cave.
Oh yeah, and Craig. I almost missed Craig.
What's up, everybody? Smash the like over on Gina's side,
Yep,
and then
link
head over to my
sent.
side and smash the like as well.
Mhm. Yes, please and thank you.
I'm still trying to get my watch hours up too.
Steven!
Stephen P. 2003.
Melvin!
Storm Rider's Legacy.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've just been working all week. I had Thursday, Friday off. I slept most of Thursday. Friday we ran out, did some errands. We decided to we so we didn't have a full like Aldi run. There was just a few things we were out of. So Nathan's like, "Well, do we even want to do Aldi?" I'm like, "Well, I kind of want to go to Target." And he's like, "Well, we can get those few things from Target." Ended up spending like way more than we should have if we'd just gone to Aldi.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that's where I got like the Pokemon cards and stuff was at Target. So
Uh,
that's also another reason why that was expensive. But
well, there you go.
it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like milk. What else do we get? Peanut butter. Which Target brand peanut butter is not that good. It's not as salty,
Hmm.
at least as Aldi brand peanut butter. It like if you like the thinner peanut butter that like you have to actually mix up because the oil kind of separates a little bit, then cool, you'll like it. But it's not as rich.
Hmm. I'm not big on peanut butter, so
I have to be in the mood for it.
I like it in the case of like a peanut butter Snickers or Reese's or something like that. But my brother, on the other hand, like he's like I'm just take a spoon and just
And
eat the
shovel it
peanut
in.
butter. Like
Yep. So
I
I'll take
do kind of like a little bit of peanut butter with like Granny Smith apple slices.
yes, peanut butter
Yeah.
and apples, or we'll get tortillas. Nathan gets like these low carb tortillas. Um, I think it's like a mix of flour and corn. Like that's how they make it low carb
Mm.
because the texture isn't quite. You can tell it's not all flour tortilla. There's something else in there, but it's not quite as rubbery as a straight corn tortilla. So I think it's like half and half. Anyway, I'll put peanut butter on that and roll them up. Sometimes I'll even put like a little stripe of Nutella in there.
Hmm.
So it's like a peanut
See, I
butter
like
Nutella.
Nutella.
Yeah.
Nutella's good.
Nutella that I cannot have in the house because no self control. That I will eat with a spoon. If I'm like really craving something sweet and there's nothing else, I will just spoon in the Nutella.
I would just make a Nutella sandwich, like
Yeah.
white bread and Nutella. Just
Toast. Oh, so it's nice and melty.
see, I don't even need the toast. Just it's nice
Toast.
and soft, and shovel on a big thick layer of Nutella in there.
We have been big, and we've been getting English muffins because they're supposed to be like the healthier bread option. So it still scratches that itch of wanting bread, but not as bad as like eating uh a whole tin of biscuits because I've been known to do that,
We'll see with
especially on a day
Schwann's
off.
biscuits. They come already formed in a resealable bag, so you can just
So you
make
can just get two
two.
out.
You can just
Don't
make two
tell me.
biscuits in your little air fryer or
Don't tell
however
me
many.
that. I've been fine with the
It's
English
perfect.
muffins. Don't tell me that.
But I'm a salesman,
I know.
and you're my customer.
I know. And I am going to be after this Friday, after I get my first Petco paycheck. Um, I'll
All
be
right.
ordering again. Yeah. I
Your
just signed up
first
for
pay.
my.
Oh, that sucks whenever you get on the pay week and you have to wait 3 weeks for your first paycheck.
So I don't think I do because I started on the first day of the new pay period. So I don't think they're going to hold. They haven't said anything about holding my first check. So it's just a
Oh,
smooth transition. It's
oh,
actually the same.
this has only been your, but this was the end of your second week though, right?
I just ended my second week. I'm about to start my third week.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So today
you
was the
worked
last day of the
3 weeks
period.
until you got your first
Oh,
paycheck.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that
what
is
I'm saying.
true.
It sucks when you start on the pay week,
Yeah.
so that you have to wait 3 weeks to get your first paycheck.
But it's actually the same payday as my as Marine Solutions, so I'm actually not missing a
Oh,
payday. Yeah.
so you got like a week of vacation or something like that,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
or
No, I didn't. No, yeah. So my last day at Marine Solutions was Saturday, and then I started Sunday at Petco, and that's the first. So Petco, the work week starts on a Sunday, but at Marine Solutions, the work week started on Monday. So,
oh,
yeah.
hmm.
But yeah, no,
But
it's
I guess so.
fluid.
You got your final Marine Solutions paycheck at the end of that week, though.
Last
At the
Friday. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
So yeah, so your pay cycle
Hmm.
is so, okay.
Yeah, pay
So
cycle
you
is
still got
exactly the
paid.
same. I
So
still
you
got
didn't
paid.
have to wait to get paid. That yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Grab some Pillsbury crescent rolls, slather with Nutella, roll and bake. Oh, I freaking love crescent rolls, but
Oh,
I limit myself with the crescent rolls because those are only for special occasions. Like those are the special occasion biscuits.
that's basically a Nutella freaking in a blanket.
Or what do they call those? Like chocolate rolls. If you go to like some coffee shops, yeah.
That
I
sounds.
have to limit myself. Some things have to be just special, otherwise they lose what makes them special.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can order frozen you can order the rolls from Texas Roadhouse frozen. They apparently do it for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they do it at Thanksgiving time for
So
people
that
that
if you
don't want to
don't,
make their own rolls.
yeah, but have bomb ass rolls. I think I just saw a commercial. We went to Mattingly's for lunch yesterday, and I think I saw a commercial that Popeyes is doing a Cajun style deep fried turkey that you can order and
Yes,
take home. I was
I
like,
saw that going on when I was
holy
at Buffalo
shit!
Wild Wings today.
Yeah.
Which
LMAO, that came across my TikTok today, Gina. Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
so the Buffalo Wild Wings. When I was there, I saw like, oh, the hot barbecue is back. I was just like, I didn't even know it was gone because I hadn't been at Buffalo Wild Wings in a while. But it's like I ordered the hot barbecue again, and it didn't taste the same.
Oh, so they've reformulated it? That's probably why they
Yep,
got rid of it, is they've reformulated it.
yep, something like that. And I didn't like it this time. It was nice and hot, which was good, but I didn't like the flavor like I used to. Luckily, I still got half of the Thai curry ones because I just love those Thai curry ones. Those are so good.
So, Bex, are you talking about the TikTok about the rolls? The president of the Fast Food Secrets Club? That guy?
Yep,
I love that guy.
I saw him. I saw that thing about the rolls like 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah,
So it's funny
yeah.
that you guys saw it.
Hmm. I was like, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of people just can't make everything,
Yep.
especially with a lot of couples, both of them working. Like, you don't have time for that shit. Or Nathan's stepmom likes to make her own rolls, and one year, I don't know why, I think there was just a problem with the packaged yeast, like the really popular one that most people get. I think there was everybody who made their own rolls that year. All of her friends, she said, they just wouldn't rise. We just had flat ass rolls that year for Thanksgiving.
Is his I believe the handle is
Hmm.
Jordan the Stallion.
Yes, Jordan the Stallion. Yep, the dude who
Oh,
always
yeah, he's the
always does the
president
come
of
here thing.
the Fast Food Seekers Club,
Yeah, yeah,
and yeah, his stuff is great. I
he's
love it when
great.
he's just like, come here, no, too close,
No, no, back up, back up.
and it's like, I'm not gonna share that the secret KFC recipe is one part this, two
Yeah.
parts that. This stuff is so great.
Oh, it's the DNG show. Oh, do we need a re?
Oh,
Oh, we both clicked it.
DNG's.
Do we need a rebrand? The DNG show? Maybe next season.
Maybe.
I'm kidding.
I
We're
love
not gonna
making my
rebrand.
own bread when I have time, but baking and cooking is a passion, and I'm blessed enough to have the time for sure. I'll make a bunch and give them to friends.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I like cooking and baking and all that sort of stuff too, actually. I just don't have the time to do it. And it's really hard to only make a small amount, and
Yep.
I'm just one person,
Yeah.
and I'm not very good at eating leftovers. So it would
I'm
just be like a big, like, I don't, I'd just be like, here, like, take this, take this.
no, no, never rebrand. Yell rock. Oh, thank you, George. My problem with baking is I love baking, but I am also extra, so I never bake anything simple. I always am like, oh, but I could do this, and I always make it complicated, and it takes way longer to bake it, and then I'm so tired. But usually turns out okay. But I'm just like, I am not doing this again for a while. So one year, for Thanksgiving potluck that Nathan's work does, they always ask that you bring a dish because it's a potluck. Um, he asked me to make some kind of dessert, so I think I took crescent rolls and I like refolded them and re-rolled them into one sheet, cut strips, and then or I cut them to fit inside a muffin tin, so it was like the muffin cup. And then I sliced apples super thin, and then I rolled them so they would make roses. So it
Mm,
was these little apple tarts, but I had to be extra and make these little apple roses. And I was like, that was so freaking frustrating. I don't want to make these again, even though they were so good.
yeah. See, I like to kind of make my own twist on cinnamon rolls
Hmm.
because I don't like I want every bite to be exactly the same and equally delicious. I don't want to like pull the entire just some when you make a cinnamon roll normally, like the inner part is the best part
Hmm.
and the outer part is just kind of you
Yeah.
know. So what I like to do is I'll take the cinnamon roll dough for like all the cinnamon rolls and kind of put it together and kind of mush it just like a little bit, not like fully mix it up, and then just kind of smash it into the pan and then cook it all that way and coat the whole thing in frosting. And it's more or less like cinnamon pull aparts.
Oh, like monkey bread,
Kinda. Yeah.
kinda,
Like monkey
but like,
bread or like bread pudding sort of deal. Like,
oh,
oh, it's so much better that way. Like you guys
mm,
gotta try it. Just
now I
coat the
want
whole
monkey bread.
pan like in non-stick stuff or whatever and do that. Oh, so good.
Now I want monkey bread. But again, it's just Nathan and I. Like, I'm not gonna make
Yeah,
a whole bunt pan of monkey bread just for
exactly.
Nathan
I'm
and
not gonna
I.
make a whole 9 by 9 of cinnamon roll pull apart stuff just for myself, even though it does sound really, really good right now.
Equally delicious bites are a necessity. Must plan the last bite to be the best. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. See,
Oh,
like
people
I'm
always give
just
me
like,
trouble for the way I
yeah.
eat food because yeah, I'll leave the best thing for last.
And sometimes it's a curse. Like it's a blessing and a curse when you do that because it's like if you go all the way to the last bite, that last bite is the absolute best and it's just like you finish your meal completely satisfied.
Mhm.
But if you don't finish the meal and you have the best part just sitting there staring at you and you're like I can't eat it.
Well, then you
It's
make
like
your
a
last
little
bite the no, you make your last bite that best part. Because
Yeah.
I know, just like George says, you can freeze it, but it's not the same
Yep.
when it's reheated.
But I mean, like, yeah, exactly. It's not the same when it's reheated, and so yeah, yeah, food can't touch either, and one thing
It
at a time.
it depends. It depends.
See, that's what was kind of nice when I went to IHOP today. Since I technically ordered everything individually, everything came out on its own small little plate. So I got my pancakes, I got a little plate of hash browns, a little plate of sausage links, and a little
There
plate
you
with a
go.
bowl of my poached eggs. And it's just like, all right, I can eat everything in stages.
So,
But then it's like, so what I'm saying is, like, I saved the best thing for last, which was the pancakes.
mhm.
Pancakes, you can't you can't eat leftover
You can't
pancakes
eat
when they're
leftover
already
pancakes.
covered in stuff. So I could the pancakes were the best part for last, and I could only eat like half of my pancakes because I was
Yeah.
full on the other stuff. But it's just, and so that's why it's like it's the blessing and the curse.
Same thing with French fries. French fries a lot of times are the best part, but you can't let them get cold. Like you
Right?
have to eat them first.
Yep.
Like McDonald's, you cannot let McDonald's French fries get cold. You have to eat those first, even though they're the best part. So funny thing, if my food does touch and if I don't know how it's gonna taste them mixed together, that'll be my first bite. And if it's good, then yeah, I'll like let them touch and it's okay. Like mashed potatoes and corn. I don't mind my mashed potatoes and corn being together.
No,
Danny is
see,
triggered.
no, exactly, because that's like when I goes okay. So KFC has had this like chicken bowl or whatever that's
Oh yeah,
really
yeah.
really good. It's like mashed potatoes with like the gravy, the chicken, the cheese, and corn. And I'm just like, why the hell are you putting corn with all that stuff? I guess it's some people like it, but in my opinion, I don't want to be biting into little sweet zits in the middle of all my freaking mashed potatoes, cheese, and gravy and chicken savory umami deliciousness. Like,
Yeah.
it's just wrong. I like corn, but I want to eat my corn with like butter and salt, and that's it. Like, I don't want it in my mashed potatoes.
So would it bother you if
Or,
I say I get a spoonful of corn or spoonful of mashed potatoes and I like dip it on top of the corn so there's some corn stuck to it and then I eat it? Like, does that bother you?
I mean, it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm just not gonna do that. Like,
Because I don't fully commit. I don't then put my corn in my mashed potatoes and mix it because that's like a full commitment. It's just like, well, maybe I just want some mashed potatoes, so I won't like fully mix it. But if I want both, then I'll have both.
yeah, I can't do it with the corn. I like the chicken, the cheese, the gravy, the mashed potatoes. All good with that. I used to do that sort of thing when I was in the army. Just get bread, a little chicken fried patty or chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, cheese, gravy, make a whole big sandwich out of it, and just eat it. That's good, but no corn in there.
But corn is a side
like,
dish. Now, if it's
like
cream corn, I don't do that. I don't eat my mashed potatoes with cream corn because that's a whole different thing. Like,
you ain't ever put corn in your rice. Now see, yeah,
I never tried that.
that's grits, right? Like corn and rice, or is it just corn? I don't know, but grits or whatever. Like, can't do grits. Like, no, can't do any sort of like applesauces or anything like that. Just
See,
texturally gets me.
I
I had a Bloody Mary at Buffalo Wild Wings that tasted really good, but they put like something in there. Like, there was like little chunks of like garlic and other stuff in there that I was like getting in. It's like, ugh, like, it was messing with me texturally.
oh.
Like, I have problems with texture a lot too. So
So Steven says mashed potatoes are a good transport for device for peas too.
yeah,
So what's funny is that I grew up trying grits and I hated them. But that's because I didn't know and I didn't learn this until Steven, I think, was talking about it on a mixed streamy on one of his
sweet
streams.
grits and salty grits.
So yeah, grits are supposed to be savory, and I never knew that. I was just like, "What is this subpar oatmeal bullshit? Like, what is this grossness?" I didn't realize that they're like you're supposed to put like butter and like salt in your grits. They're supposed to be
Well, there's two
savory.
different types. There's sweet grits and then there's salty grits.
Oh well, see, I don't like sweet grits. Then I've never
Some
tried
people
it
like it
since.
one way, some people like it the other way, some people like it both.
Sweet grits, that sounds horrifying.
Yeah, yeah. All of it just sounds, well, okay. At least I can wrap my head around like the salty grits, like the buttery salty grits, because it's corn, right? It's
Yeah.
just mushed like tiny little pieces of corn. So that sounds more or less okay with me. I would just kind of have a hard time kind of getting
So
it down because it's just like, do I chew it? If I just swallow it, then it makes me gay. If I chew it, then it's just like weird. So yeah.
I think grits are a dividing factor. You can tell who's from the north and who's from the
What?
south.
Yeah. What the fuck are sweet grits?
Sweet
Everybody's just
grits,
like,
because I know
see,
some. I've
that's the
seen
thing. I've seen people put like maple syrup and stuff
or
in their
honey or
grits
yeah.
or honey. Yeah,
I've
it's.
seen I've seen
I
a like
guess
a
it's
TikTok about
a
it.
Missouri thing or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know, but I've seen a TikTok about it where diner in the north, and it was like a person sitting down ordering grits and putting honey on it. Nobody had a problem. And it said diner in the south, and then somebody sat down, ordered grits, and put honey, and they like kicked him out of the restaurant. Like, what the fuck are you? Get the fuck out!
Yeah. I don't know. See,
Whoa.
I never even like seen grits until I was in the army, and it's just like I would just watch what other people would do, and
Yeah,
yeah, it seemed like people would get that and they would add like syrup or honey to it or whatever. So I was just always under the assumption that like grits were like a oatmeal sort of thing, and then I heard it was
yeah,
corn, and it's just like that just sounds absolutely gross. Like, but then it's like, yeah, like the salty grits are like that. Actually, that sounds like it would taste good. I would just have
yeah,
a problem with the texture.
yeah. So this he must have been typing this when told my story because yeah,
When you're really gonna try it out back and show.
yeah,
Well, see, that's the thing too. Is like depending on where you are in the world, ordering tea
yes,
will like you might get a completely different experience. Like if you go to England or whatever and you order tea, you're gonna get something that's very, very thick and hot. Like
yeah.
it's gonna be very like heavy flavored tea and it's gonna be hot. If you order tea in like northern United States, it's gonna be like
Unsweetened
just
iced tea.
unsweetened iced tea,
Mhm.
like tea on ice, cold. And if you order it from like southern United States, it's gonna be sweetened iced tea.
Yeah.
And so that's just like, so if you just say that's what you want with tea, like, and so if you're in different areas of the world, you have to be specific on what type of tea you want, because if you go to the south and you order iced tea, like they're just gonna bring it out already sweet and give you a whole bunch more sugar. So like if you don't want any sort of sweetener in there, you have to like specifically ask for it, and they're gonna have to like brew it special for you.
Oh my god, that was one thing when Grant and Shelby were in town. They asked me, they're like, "Where can we get sweet tea?" And I was like, "Well, I know at Quick Trip you can. At
Everywhere
gas
here.
stations." Well, apparently we went to Pearl Cafe and she asked, she's like, "Oh, do you guys have sweet tea?" Because apparently she needs sweet tea in order to eat her spicy food. Shelby does, and they're like, "Oh no, we only have unsweetened tea." So she's like, oh, "Okay, can you bring sugar packets too?" And I was like, "I'm so sorry. I thought Missouri was southern enough, but I guess we are kind of in the middle, like right on the
Yeah,
line."
we're like the gateway to the west, and so yeah, we're kind of a mixture of everything here.
Yeah.
Um, you get all sorts of accents here in St. Louis too. You get the more southern type, you get the northern type. I apparently have more of a western accent, and at least as far as when I did one of those like Facebook quizzes years ago and stuff like that, like where from the United States are you based off of how you pronounce words and stuff like that. So
So we I follow a British guy on TikTok that whenever he first started his TikTok, he was trying like American sweets and all this stuff and being like, "Oh, in America, you guys really have this and blah blah." Well, he finally spent a few months here in America, and yeah, he tried Southern sweet tea for the first time, and he fell in love with it. Like the pitcher that you can buy in the grocery store.
Yep.
He's like, "Oh my god, this is the most amazing or the gallon." Um so don't mick him, don't trash it until you try it. You need some authentic Southern sweet tea.
You could be Canadian. See, I don't really. I feel like he's going somewhere with this, but like you could be Canadian.
I think he's talking about your accent. Like you would pass for Canadian.
No, I'm not Canadian.
Not all Canadians have the accent.
It's either that or they have some sort of French accent. Yep. So we got a Navy vet in here. We got a Marine Corps veteran with Kenny from Danikin Aquatics.
Oh yeah, hello,
I'm
hi
an
Kenny. I didn't
Army
say hi.
veteran. Thank you
Hi.
guys for your service, and thank you for your support as well. Um, yeah, I kind of was telling Gina backstage, and we've been talking, for so much already, but I don't really talk about my service a whole lot. I've kind of mentioned little things here and there and talked about it more or less with different stuff. But if anybody has any questions about like my military service or whatever, it's Veterans Day. Like I'm willing to kind of talk about different stuff now. So
Let's talk
and
about it.
any questions you want to post in chat, I'll talk about it. But I've been killing the half price Halloween candy. Yeah.
I didn't get it. I couldn't pick it out in time.
Oh yeah, and then they give you a bunch of sugar and they try
Just
to
it takes
have you
forever
mix
to
in tea.
mix. It takes
You see,
forever.
in general, I don't really like tea. Um, I've had like Lipton raspberry tea one time, and that was all right. But some people don't even count Lipton as like actual tea because it's just
Yeah.
got so much like corn syrup and other stuff in there anyway. So it's more or less like non-carbonated soda. But uh, I did when I was in Iraq. There was I believe he was Nepalese man that we were doing like searching rooms and stuff for contraband, and he had just brewed a whole bunch of chai tea, like authentic chai tea, and he had like heavy cream and all that stuff, and made me like an authentic Nepalese tea. And the way that they drink tea is the way that like Americans drink coffee,
Mhm.
like hot, thick with like cream and sugar.
Milk
And
tea.
oh, it was good.
Mhm.
That is a tea that I do like, but
Yep.
you got to make it the way that they do with like heavy amount of botanicals, lots of robust flavor, and then like sugar and cream. That's good. That's some
Yep.
good stuff.
So in high school, I had a friend who was really big into like the authentic teas, and I remember going to her house one time, and she's like, "Oh, do you want?" Or her mom was making the tea, and um, she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna make your tea, Gina. Do you want milk in your tea too?" And I was like, "Milk and tea? What are you talking about? Like what?" But now that I've had it, it is so good. Yes, like you said, it makes it thicker and like heavier. Not as heavy as coffee, but like I'm sure if you used heavy cream, it would make it as heavy as coffee. But yeah, it just makes it more, I don't know, heavier, I guess.
Right. It's that's it's pretty good that way. You
And for
know.
those who are about to say it, I know saying chai tea is technically redundant because chai is their word for tea. So you're saying tea tea. We know we're American, okay?
You spelled spilt wrong.
I like spilled tea.
It's
Spilt.
spilt. Spilt.
He like he likes to spill. He likes when the tea is spilt. Vibes is here. Oh, we can start now. We officially got the okay. We can
Yeah.
start the stream now.
Don't forget to smash the like on both streams. We
Yep,
have
links
links
in the
in the description to jump from channel to channel. So hit the like, jump over to the other side, hit the like. I think more people are chatting on Gina's side right now. which is cool. I know like, it's kind of weird that the chat's split up, so I know everybody just kind of likes to get consolidated on one channel or the other.
It's okay.
I
We
kind
see
of
it all.
wish we could. I like how the chat is combined on our StreamYard side, how we can see both together. I wish on the YouTube side it would combine the live chats together.
Yeah.
Though I kind of understand why it doesn't, because like the streaming on both channels is something that isn't like actually run through YouTube anyway. That's a StreamYard feature that allows us to stream on both channels at the same time.
You know what's weird
So
though is that the Seahorse Whisperer also streams to Facebook at the same time, but you're able like it has a little indicator and it shows the Facebook chats over on the YouTube side. So yeah, I wonder if
it
StreamYard
does.
just needs to uh-huh.
Are you
But that's
sure?
yeah, but they don't use StreamYard. They use a different it's like StreamYard, but it's different. I forget what it's called. But yeah, in the comments on the YouTube side, it'll actually be like Facebook comment user their name and then it'll say the comment.
And it
So
shows that
StreamYard
in the YouTube chat.
So StreamYard just needs
Huh.
to
I've never noticed that. Then again, I
yeah,
haven't. I don't think I've ever been over on
the
her,
seahorse.
the
Yeah, because she
Seahorse
streams the same
Whisperer.
time as Dan's fish. So
Ah,
yeah, a
cause
lot
see,
of the
like
fish
I've
fans
seen
kind of
that,
visit.
like with StreamYard and stuff like that. Yeah, you can stream on, multiple like sources as well. Yeah, like with your Facebook, but
It might be Talk Studio. I've only been up on their stream twice, and I just remember like looking around. I was like, "Oh, this is a new thing. It's kind of like StreamYard, but different."
you know, I
Unless
just
we, Matt,
the
unless we
very
do this.
first time I hopped on the stream, it was with Swampy Yeager's Homestead, and it was with StreamYard, and I just kind of like the functionality, and they've made lots of updates on it, which are really cool. So I continue to use StreamYard. Uh, Maybe someday I might try something else, but I don't know. I like StreamYard for what it is, and it functions pretty good. And now I've figured out this other app or whatever where I can, use my desktop sounds through my computer, so I can use my little keyboard over here and be able to play stuff whenever I want. And you guys can actually hear it because it like projects everything through like the microphone somehow, or like puts all the sounds as one source and then uses that as the microphone for StreamYard or something, which I realized when I watched the replay of, or I was looking at the replay of the stream from last week to kind of see how the Metallica song or whatever came through when holy loudness, I'm sorry if that was extra loud.
Sorry.
I'll play it quieter.
Hit it softer. You, you
But
sound effect was
um,
super loud.
I noticed when I was sharing the Metallica video, I was sharing the audio at the same time that the audio was being projected through like the microphone app or whatever. So it was being projected twice. So there's a little bit of a doubling with delay that kind of threw off the sound and kind of made it sound weird. So now I know for future reference, whenever I'm like, as long as I'm using this Voice Meter Banana app to do this, where my desktop sounds come through, um, I don't want to share screen with audio. I just want to share the screen, and the audio will already come through because I'm always sharing the audio.
Now we know.
Sound effect was super loud. I'm sorry. I pulled a switcheroo.
So, what was one of your most intense moments whenever you were serving? I'll
Um.
start this conversation.
Okay. When I was like, so when I first got to Iraq, I was doing a couple different jobs. I was first working out in like the the flight strip or whatever, doing I was searching bags, searching people, and like getting people signed up in our database to get them like a badge for like work access, or stuff like that. And so I did that for a while, but then they eventually switched me to the entry control point. And so like the first time I was out there and I was searching a semi truck, um, everybody else had like already been used to it, because they like apparently that was just a thing out there. But a lot of their vehicles, especially their semi trucks, they were like really, really old trucks. And so they still had analog clocks.
Hmm.
And so you would go in to search this truck for contraband, weapons, bombs, stuff like that. And the first truck I hopped in, I heard clicking.
Mm. Mm.
And so that freaked me out. Even though there was absolutely nothing, it was just the analog clock in the dashboard.
Yep.
And, but like that really, that was probably my
Tick,
most
tick,
stressful
tick. Yep.
moment, other than there was a time that I didn't realize who it was at the point, and we actually got to the point of firing a flare and even firing a warning shot using our M4 out of the gun tower, on Navy SEALs. Uh, I thought they were. I didn't know who they were at first, but they were coming up the exit lane. Apparently, they were like fleeing some bad shit that happened or whatever. But it's like the Navy SEALs knew the rules about going in the entrance or the exit or whatever. But all of a sudden, yeah, this truck just like came flying up the exit, and we're just like, "What the hell?" Like we couldn't see the drivers or anything like that. We're trying to like look through binoculars and stuff, but they're just flying up and shoot the warning shot. And right at that point, we realized who it was, that it was the Navy SEALs. And it's like, holy shit, we almost just lit up the 50 cal on the Navy SEALs.
You almost shot Kenny.
Yeah.
You bastard.
And it's just like, you know, there's certain rules of engagement and things like that, you know, like you have to follow the rules, you know. If you don't, that's how you get shot.
Yeah. Yep.
Doesn't matter who you are, even if you're a Navy SEAL. If you don't follow the rules of what the military police tell you to do, you might get shot.
Yep. That's crazy.
And send light enter to the old Europe. Hello, Africa. Oh, the
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, I can change the sound to whatever I want, but that one was like. But that's an insane. No, Backstreet Boys. I mean, what branch? Army, National
Army.
Guard. And then this hat is kind of like my tail. So this is my uh, um, combat service medal pin, and the Third Infantry Division was in control most of the time when I was in Iraq. So that was the combat patch that I got. And then this is like a Operation Iraqi Freedom pin. So it's got an American flag and an Iraqi flag. And I'm not sure what it says on the top and the bottom. I can't read it on the screen or anything like that. And I'm not going to take off my hat to read what it is. And I forgot to get a pin when I was in Germany, but one of the layover flights, I think it was when I was on my way home from Iraq. We had a layover flight in Ireland, so I got a little pin in Ireland, but I forgot to, or no, I couldn't find a good little pin in the airport when I was in Germany because it wasn't like a traditional like airport or anything like that. It was actually a specialized like military airport. So they did have like a little store, but it wasn't like a kind of like a little like gift shop sort of store. It was more like a gas station sort of
Like a
store.
convenience store rather
Yeah,
than a gift store. Yeah.
right. Treason in the military can be put to death. Yeah, I know. But also, don't go flying up the damn
The
exit
exit.
lane.
Right? That's crazy. But yeah.
Oh man.
How long did you serve?
4 years.
4 years. Nice. Now, I don't know anything. Is that like do deployments have a set time? Like is that like a standard deployment? Like one deployment?
That's like a standard amount of time unless you like re-enlist or whatever.
Gotcha.
Um, I did 1 year in Iraq, but like 4 years total. I was in the military.
Nice.
My smoothie's empty.
Oh no. What time do they close? Do you need to get another one?
They're closed now.
Oh,
I think they closed at 8 or something like that, or maybe it was 9. I don't know, but they're closed now for
they are
sure.
closed.
Yes, do hit the like on Danny Street.
Yes, please.
And help with the watch hours too. That'd be nice.
Yeah, they close at 9.
Because it would be cool to be able to get super chats and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd
I'm
be
not sure.
fun.
I'm not sure if I would go with memberships at all, but having super chats would be kind of cool.
Super stickers and super chats.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel the same. If I ever got if my channel ever got big enough to be able to do memberships, I don't know cuz I don't even make content. Like I feel like I would have to do something for the members and I have no idea what I would do. I don't have a plant farm like Steven and Jenna to send like member rewards or anything.
Yep. Either
Kaylee.
I went deaf or there is no sound.
Uh-oh.
Uh, well, I you can't hear me, and I can't type over on Gina's channel. Um, but I was
Oh,
gonna
here.
say
I got it.
you're gonna have to like fully close out of YouTube and bring it back up because it's a YouTube issue, and sometimes that happens. Sounds is on my. Yeah.
Just not my TV for some reason. That's weird. Your
Oh,
knowledge is worth the membership. Aw, thanks, Craig.
audio is all good. What's up, Paul Sotero?
Paul. Oh, so I got to help a customer with saltwater stuff today. I got paged
All
over,
right.
and there's a lady and her husband. I think it's mostly the wife's tank, but they had some stony corals, and she's like, "Yeah, everything was going great for like 4 months, and but then we upgraded our lights. Put a pin in that. We upgraded our lights, and then our anemone like got really mad and like climbed down under a rock and disappeared. And she's like, and then our hammer corals started dying branch by branch. And then she sent me a picture. She's like, and then this appeared one day, and I was like, well, that doesn't look like an anemone. That looks like a hammer. Um, and I'm like, wait, so you upgraded you got a new light? And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, well, did you test the par on whenever you set up the new light? She goes, no. What is that? And I was like, okay. Whenever you change your lighting, you can't suddenly change the light like the par. You can't put a more intense light on there. You can actually kill corals faster with too much light than not enough light. So that's probably what happened. You changed your lights too drastically, and it made everything upsetty spaghetti.
Yeah,
So she's like, but my soft corals are fine. Like that's because corals aren't as sensitive.
they're more forgiving. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but
like
yeah, your
they're like low
anemone.
like plants.
And that picture that she sent me was actually the polyp of the hammer coral. If they get upset enough, they'll do a last ditch effort. The soft part will actually bail from the skeleton, and then they'll float around, try to find a better spot. And they could. It doesn't happen often, but they could actually regrow their skeleton and start somewhere
Huh?
else.
Wow,
Yeah. So I was
it's
like, yeah,
crazy.
we don't have par meters at Petco because we're not cool enough. So I told her to go to a local pet store or a local saltwater store that's in that area. I was like, rent a par meter, get your par right, and then we can work on getting stony corals back.
Yeah.
Good night,
Skipper's
Bex.
Aquarium is here. Kalish is
Skippy.
here.
I can hear myself. Can you guys hear my echo from the other room? Nathan's watching us in the living room.
I can't hear it.
Okay, cool. I
It
just
is
heard
kind of
myself.
annoying when you can hear it though.
Yeah, I just heard myself say good night to Bex.
Bye, Bex.
Good night. Oh, he got it working on his TV. Good, good, good. But yeah, anybody who's new, Kalish, Paul, Skipper, since it's Veterans Day, if you guys have questions for Danny's service, Danny's a veteran. If you have he was in the army.
Yes. Skipper, thank you for your service as well.
Oh yeah, Skipper, thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day. Yeah, if you have questions for Danny, since he doesn't talk about his military time, I'm not doing this right. I'm not
You're
saying the
fine.
words correctly. Ask Danny about his time in the military because it's Veterans Day.
If you want
Go,
to. If you
go,
guys have
go.
any questions about my time in the service in the army or anything like that, you can ask it aware because I don't really talk about it a whole lot. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
Everybody
Um,
say hi to Nathan. Hi, Nathan. Oh, my Nathan. Yeah, because he's watching.
oh yes, hi Nathan.
I hate
Oh,
saying.
um,
He just yelled from the other room. Hi.
I have a little bitty lemon tree that I
Oh my
started.
god, it's a baby.
I bought some lemons when I had some scallops the other day, like well a few weeks back I
Oh yeah,
guess now,
you talked about them. Your super
and
lemony scallops.
yeah, and how bad they were. But I saved one of the seeds and planted it, and I was gonna talk about it last week because it had sprouted last week already, and I just kind of forgot about it. But that's how big it is now. It's starting on the second pair of leaves,
Baby
and
tree.
see, I got a second lemon tree going now. My
What is that?
other that one's just like a standard like Meyer lemon, and then my other lemon tree is a pink variegated lemon. So maybe having two different types of lemons, they'll kind of cross pollinate, and I'll have a better chance of getting nice big full size lemons in the future.
Sapling. A baby tree is called a sapling. I didn't know.
Yes.
I that's what I thought it was, but I was like, sap is that just for pine trees? And so I just had to Google it. No, it's for all baby trees.
I was watching this thing. Is there a reason you don't talk about your service much? Not really. I mean, other than like, I personally don't really find my service like super interesting. I don't really feel like I did too much. Most of my time was spent like during training and stuff like that, which that has some, kind of fun stories and things like that. But also, my time in the service was, especially in Iraq, was also kind of fairly difficult on like personal levels too, because I had no idea that I was autistic at the time. And, looking back, a lot of the difficulties that I had just kind of make sense after realizing that I'm autistic, but there was times that I got in trouble for things that I had no idea why I even got in trouble for. And at after getting in trouble the first time, I more or less had like an extra watchful eye, just looking out for every little mistake that I did the rest of my time. So that was just kind of hard because like I never really had a chance to explain myself on anything because you know like I said I had gotten in different arguments on different things, and just a lot of different weird stuff happened. And looking back after realizing that I'm autistic, it's just like holy cow, like all that stuff just makes sense now.
Yep.
Could you graft two lemon trees together and have different kinds on the same tree? Potentially, which that's something that I might want to look into after I get that up to a certain size. Fish water, yes, jumbo,
Jumbo
exactly.
lemons.
Especially if you use like the like discus water or betta water and stuff like that, because lemons, citrus and lemons and stuff like that, they actually grow in the same type of acidic soil and stuff that like cacti and stuff do. So using soft water, that soft acidic water is, really good for them. They probably lemon trees and also some other plants too really like water at like a 6.0 at acidic level and stuff like that. Yeah, they don't necessarily need acid water. If you got good soil, you can water them with pretty much anything and they'll be fine. But yeah, acidic
Acid
water
dirt.
at like a 6.0 is like the best thing for them.
Acid water.
Just an FYI, because you're growing a lemon from seed, it may not be true to the variety of the lemon you took it out of.
Yep.
That is true,
Cross
especially because I didn't
pollination.
actually grab the organic lemon.
Yep.
Um, but I just grabbed the lemon from the store. It might not be a Meyer lemon, and honestly, I don't really care because that's not the lemon tree that I really care about. The one that I do care about is the one that I bought at already like little sapling size, and I've had it for 2 years now, and this is the second year that I'm putting it in this closet. It's a good size pink variegated lemon tree, and these are some cool lemons. So the tree itself gets this really cool like variegated color. I'm gonna present this here. So yeah, you get these variegated leaves and stuff.
Ooh.
Not the actual like pink, but then like yeah, the fruit itself, you get these green stripes, and then the inner fruit is actually pink. So
Pink lemonade.
I haven't gotten any fruit yet that I could actually get. The biggest fruit that I got last year were, probably about like shooter marble size from the old game, marbles. Some of you young kids probably have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. But any of you older millennials and Gen Xers and people that are older, you know what I'm talking about. The game marbles with the shooter marbles and stuff. Probably about that big, smaller than a golf ball. Um, but yeah, and we ended up getting like another like random like super heavy heat wave, and that knocked all my fruit off, But yeah, maybe next year, or maybe even in the future. And they kind of like generally with fruit trees, especially with like apples and different things like that, you want to have multiple trees of different varieties so that they can kind of cross pollinate and stuff like that. That helps you get better, bigger fruit. And so that being the only lemon tree, maybe those lemons in general just kind weren't quite as strong as they could have been, and that's why I ended up losing all of them too.
I'm confused. Why does Craig want to pinch your tree? I'm missing something.
he wants it. Like
Oh, he wants to steal it. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I got it. Sorry. I'm like, why does he want to pinch your tree? What
I
am I
found they
missing?
drop a few times. Yeah, the first year I didn't get any fruit at all, and that was probably also my own fault because I didn't realize at the time that the fruit grows from the new growth. Some like plants kind of grow in different ways. Some trees that like blackberries, the fruits grow from the growth of the previous year. So the your blackberry bushes or kind of areas, shrubs, whatever, like they kind of grow kind of like vines unless you like trim them up in a certain way. They will grow out one year and then the next year they'll continue to grow out from but what from grew the previous year, that area will flower and then fruit that year. And so that's how I was thinking that the lemon tree would grow. So I was kind of trimming it up, making it look real nice and round, kind of like my little bonsai tree and stuff, and didn't realize that I was cutting off all the new growth, which was where the fruit actually grew from, because that's how the lemon trees grow. The fruit grows from the new growth. And so this
Whoopsie.
previous year, I didn't trim it up intentionally because it already looked really nice anyway, and I ended up getting fruits. But yeah, they all fell off. So we will see what happens next year. Who doesn't want to pinch Danny's tree? Well,
You
that's
know, I don't claim to be the smartest person in the world, okay? Paul says, I'm growing a Myers lemon, a couple different types of mandarins, clementines, blood orange, and Persian lime.
ooh.
Ooh.
See, we have a hard time with citrus here in the Midwest because we have to bring them indoors
It gets too
over
cold.
winter.
It gets too cold.
And so that's kind of one of the reasons I kind of keep it trim or whatever too, because I want it to be able to fit in my closet. And
Yep.
yeah, it's growing pretty darn good. Cut the top heavy. Yeah, I trimmed it up, a little bit before I brought it inside. But I wanted to make sure I gave it enough time outside to recover from the trimming before it started getting colder and I brought it inside because even though I have a little fan going on it and it kind of moves around and I have a really good set of like two full grow beam lights, it still just has a rough time growing indoors over the winter and stuff. It tends to kind of come outside the next year looking a little scraggly, but and I don't think traditionally, I don't think citrus trees lose their leaves every year during fall like other trees do and stuff like that. So it's just, yeah, I'm just trying to take the best care of it I can, and I don't want to lose it because the first lemon tree I got, I didn't give it enough light over winter and it lost all of its leaves and very much died. I brought one of my banana trees into my fish shed and put it under heavy lighting. Now it's the only one still going, but it keeps getting in my way. Yeah, see, I like banana trees. Banana trees are nice. I have four
Banana.
banana trees, and I brought those inside already. But banana trees are fun because you can they can go dormant over winter. If it gets colder and stuff like that. So you can just more or less dig them up like potatoes or any other like bulb plant, clean off the roots and stuff, cut off all the leaves and vegetation, just leave it inside over winter until springtime when it stops, freezing overnight, and then you can plant them again. They just come right back to life.
So Craig had a question. Would a big lemon tree make it in the snow? I don't think so, because
No,
the few times it does freeze in Florida, I always hear about like it decimating. fields of
As
orange
it
trees.
don't snow here or not where I am. So no, I definitely thought about that. I even kind of my sister is a little bit more knowledgeable on like plants and stuff than I am, especially like Missouri native plants and stuff like that, and grow zones and things like that. Because she's spent a lot of time on like building her little mini farm homestead at the house that I grew up in that she bought for my parents. And uh but yeah, she more or less said too that like, yeah, I thought about that. That what if I grew the plant, so big to where it was like a full tree, and I just decided I'm just gonna plant it in the ground, and it's a full tree now. Um, it more or less like the root system would die, and it would die. Like it just can't
Yeah.
stand our winters.
The cold. It can't stand the freezing. Because it doesn't really
Yeah,
snow here a whole lot compared to farther north, but we still get decent amount of snow.
yeah,
And just because it snows doesn't mean it's freezing. Like we know that in Missouri.
yeah.
It'll snow when it's
And
like 40 degrees outside.
but it also like it's the ground temperature that's really
Yeah.
more important, not the air temperature. Because there's the same with like blueberries. So I have 7 blueberry bushes. I used to have 7, but I had ended up buying a couple more because I lost like one of them and stuff, and I think one kind of just died back for some reason too. But I had one really really good blueberry bush that was doing awesome, and blueberry bushes are rated like down to like negative 20 degrees or something like that. So they're perfectly fine in our Missouri winters. That is if they're in the ground,
Yeah.
because this one I had it in a really big pot. And so it grew really, really well the year that I had it. It was way bigger than any of the blueberries that were the blueberry bushes that were at this house when I bought it. And it had like nice big fruits that it gave me the year that it produced as well. But it didn't survive over the winter because it was in a big pot above ground, and that entire pot more or less like froze solid at one point, I guess, because I think the snow melted, got the whole thing soaked, and then we had a
And
really
then
really hard
freeze.
freeze the next night or something
Yeah.
like that. And so yeah, being in the pot, it died. If I would have actually just taken the time to bury it in the ground like I had planned to do, and just kind of got lazy and thought, oh, whatever, it's fine, it'll survive the winter, I was wrong.
Oh yeah, I forget Adam's over in Illinois, not that far from us. So yeah, he gets pretty much the same weather we do. So we say Missouri weather, but we don't. We just mean like
Yeah,
our region of the Midwest.
yeah. But I don't know if it's quite the same everywhere else in the Midwest, but there have been definitely some days here that we have experienced all 4 seasons in one day.
In one day. Yep. Yeah, I think there was like snow and a tornado, and
And then all the
it was just
snow melted,
crazy.
and it was actually during fall time that it snowed, so there was like leaves all over the ground. And then it got hot
Yeah,
after, like, and that's what caused like the tornado and everything too. So
right. It
yeah,
was crazy.
I want to try one of those dwarf kiwi vines. They're like big size great kiwis. Ooh,
Oh, like big
big.
grape size kiwis.
Yeah,
Oh, I like
nice.
kiwis.
I like kiwis too, but I
Kiwi.
like I like the flavor of strawberry more than kiwi. So
Yeah.
when it comes to like a juice, I want strawberry kiwi, not
Hmm.
kiwi strawberry. I think that's a
So,
better flavor
so your
combination.
your story about about those what blueberries, blackberries? What did you just
All of it.
say?
I talked about all of them.
Okay, cool. I definitely never potted those blackberries that you gave me.
Though the black raspberries,
Yeah,
you never put them in the
I
ground.
never put them in the ground.
Did they
They're still
die?
out. No, they're still outside. in the pots.
Here's the thing, Gina, is they might survive because
Oh,
those are
okay.
Missouri native raspberries.
Yeah,
So they are used to our winter. You could actually, even if you wanted to, you could go right outside now and just put them in the ground
put them in the ground.
and they'll be
Okay, next
fine
next warm day I'll do that.
because, like, yeah, they're Missouri native. They're going to grow crazy fast and they're going to be really, really awesome and really abundant because they are meant to grow here.
Yeah, I just felt bad. My mom kept hounding me. She's like, "You need to bring him inside. You need to bring him inside." And I
Oh,
never
no,
did. And I
don't
was
bring
like,
them inside. They'll be fine.
yeah.
No. I think those would probably survive in those pots over our winters still. But yeah, you'd want to get those in the ground.
If you want kiwi, make sure you have a really strong trellis to grow it in. Ooh, does it get
Yep.
heavy? Yeah, I could see that.
It
Especially
does
if like
get
a
heavy.
bunch of kiwis grow, then
Yep.
yeah, it would get heavy.
But then also, you need to have nice long summers with kiwi because we
Yeah.
had a kiwi trellis at the house that I had growing up, and we would always get kiwis, but they would never get bigger than the size of a grape, and like they would never get full size and ripen or anything like that because our summers weren't long enough.
Yeah.
I get it. I love black currants. See, black currant is a flavor that was almost completely lost here in America. There's a whole story about it, and um, I
Isn't it
believe it has.
isn't it illegal because it's a different variety over in the UK? Like, isn't it illegal to have black currant, the
So
actual
it's
plant
it's
here?
it's not illegal anymore.
Oh, okay.
So black currants actually used to be a very big thing here in the United States, and they would actually make like wines and things out of black currants and other berries before there was like a thing of grapes. Grapes actually weren't a big deal here in the United States when it came to making alcohol. And it wasn't until Prohibition in the 20s that all of a sudden black currants, because of Prohibition being the primary source of making like fruity flavored alcohol, the whole plant was completely banned.
Yeah.
And it was almost completely lost. And it was then after Prohibition, all the plants had already been destroyed. So black currants and red currants and all that like were pretty much completely lost here in the United States during Prohibition. And it wasn't until a long time after that that they started being reintroduced back. So it's not illegal anymore, but it's still just such a rare flavor because like we just don't have it.
Bring it back.
I know we need to bring it back. And it wasn't I think the my first experience of that flavor was actually Haribo uh twin snakes. They have like a sweet and a sour snake that are attached, and each has a different flavor, and it's the Haribo gummies, and those are super good. But there's one that is blood orange attached to black currant, and that black currant one is so good, and it is such a really good flavor. And so I made a black currant mead, which is really fucking good, and it's all gone because it was so fucking good. But I was able to, I believe it was at Whole Foods, I was able to find like pure black currant juice. Um, and so I bought some of that and added honey and water and other stuff to make black currant mead. And oh, yeah, it was so good. Those snakes are the only way I can get black currant anything. I know, right? I love those.
See, I just looked up some black currant seeds. You can buy them.
Yeah, you can buy them. In fact, I think last year or 2 years ago, maybe now, um, the same time I bought my gooseberry plant, I also bought two red currant bushes, little bitty starter things, and one didn't make it right away because they're just little bitty starter plants with like a root system that I bought from Home Depot. One didn't make it right away. The other one started growing and all that. And then just one day I came out to look at my backyard and kind of water all my plants and stuff. And the little sprout that had like, I don't know, 6 or 7 leaves on it was just completely gone. I guess a little rabbit or something came by and chewed it up. So
What a
that
jerk.
kind of sucked.
So apparently you
Black
have to
currant
like
soda.
cold
Oh, that
winter them.
sounds so good.
Yeah, so apparently with these black currants, if you buy seeds, you have to do that like cold winter period for 4 to 6
Yeah,
weeks before you can
to
to break the
kind of to help
dormancy.
germination to break the dormancy. Yeah,
Mhm.
you have to do that with blueberry seeds as well.
Interesting. What zone are we in?
I
Hardiness
don't
zone
know.
3 to 9.
I think maybe 6.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
There we go. Hardiness zone map.
We are 5 to 7.
Oh, perfect. So we could totally get these.
Yeah. And said no, the red currants and black currants, they do work for us. I just didn't have the success with those little bitty starter plants from Home Depot. But those plants, you have to catch them at just the right time because they stupidly have those little like things indoors. So if you don't buy them like right when they get their shipment in, the plants just die indoors, and somehow people still buy the dead ones sometimes. And Home Depot doesn't know or care or anything like that. The people that are checking you out aren't sitting there looking to see how alive the plant is. They're just ringing it up and selling it to you.
Yeah, I think on this USDA map we're at like 6, maybe 7.
Yeah, where Missouri is like 5 to 7, but I just say 6.
5 for the northern part, 7 for the bottom part. So yeah, we're about 6
Yeah,
in mid Missouri.
yeah, but I'm gonna check again next year to see if they have any red currants or black currants and try again because the gooseberry worked fine. I thought I was having really good success with that one, but yeah, a rabbit or something must have ate it because it
Squirrels.
was there one day and gone the next.
Frickin' squirrels.
Yeah,
Did the Aqueon glass tops go on sale at Petco? I know the Aqueon, the open top tanks are. I don't know about the glass tops. Um,
I don't think the lids ever go on sale.
yeah, I don't think so either. I know
The
some of
tanks
the
go, on the 50% off sale. Sometimes they have a sale on like lights and things like that too. But I don't think I've ever seen a sale on the lids, whether they've been the lid light fluorescent or LED combos or the glass lids.
so that's to say in store. Now they might do a promotion online, so then you can do like
Yeah,
buy online, pick up in store to get that online
yeah,
sale.
yeah. Or sometimes they just do online pickup sales in general and you can just get 20% off because you ordered in store pickup.
Yep,
$20 for the tank, 30 for the glass lid. Yep.
yep,
And then that
yeah.
glass lid, especially the smaller ones, they put a black hinge right in the middle of it
Oh
so
my
it throws
gosh, I
off the lighting
know.
in your tank.
That's our freaking frag tank at work has a black hinge. I actually had to move some I didn't realize that we had a stellar stylo, which was been like, oh, that's a coral that I've wanted forever. And I didn't realize that's what it was because it was like right in the shade of the hinge, so it's not colored up the way it should be. So
Yep.
I had to rearrange the frag tank a little bit. I'm like, don't put the SPS in the shade. They need all the light. All the light.
Yeah, that's why another like kind of benefit of having the light way up high like that and such a strong light on this tank is that even though it does have that black bar in the middle, uh, the light just kind of bends right around it. There's not really a dead zone in the tank. And yeah, thanks to daylight savings time, all my tank lights are going off now.
I got fed
So
up with the
we're gonna
hinges
have the
from
half hour in the dark.
half hour in the dark. I got fed up with the hinges for my tanks that aren't lidless. I took the hinges off, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Paul said the
I
same
didn't know
thing.
you could do that.
The lids don't go on sale, but if you order them online for in-store pickup, you'll get 20% off. Yeah.
I did not know you could.
60 breeders have made it to the 50% off sale, so no need for the 55s anymore. Yep.
Oh,
They're not new and exciting anymore. Now they're on sale.
yay. Those tanks are so awesome.
Or you can go to
I
like
still
bulk
gotta
reef
get mine
supply.
finished.
You can go to bulk reef supply and get your DIY net tops. But I know a
Yeah.
lot of people have like really small freshwater fish, so those net tops, screen tops would just be like useless because they would just jump right through them.
A sheet of double walled polycarbonate. Yeah, exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. A sheet of that polycarbonate. The stuff that they use for um like those plasticky greenhouses or whatever. Just get some of that and cut it. You can cut it to the exact dimensions of your tank and just leave little cracks and stuff for cables and your filter and whatever else to where you can have a much tighter fitting lid than anything you're gonna buy.
Yeah, take a Dremel and just right into the side, just that size of that cable.
Yep. Yep. Have it fit perfectly around your hang on the bag filter. Oh yeah, that'd be nice. You could even, cut a hole for a piece of wood poking out the top and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then just make a little circle for a feeding hole and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to take the hinges off when the lids are new. It takes some force, and I broke a new lid trying to do that. Yeah, I I broke a brand new lid trying to put the that little plastic like sheet on the back of it to give it that
Oh,
little bit of extra length.
yeah.
And yeah, I took that right back to the store and said I opened it up and it was broken.
Yeah. That's what you do. So with screen tops, there's these little portholes that you can buy that are meant to like clasp around the screen, so you can have a little. It's a ring, and then there's another like little netted piece that you can lift, and that's supposed to be like your feeding port. I'm sure, yeah, with that polycarbonate, if you took like a hole drill that same size, you could put one of those on there. So yeah, you would just lift it up and feed your fish.
Yep. Or just make any size door and buy a little hinge and you
Yeah.
can make yourself a little lid, put a little handle on there.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to be extra lazy and not even have a lid or a hinge or whatever, just drill a little hole that's like this big and just leave the little open hole and just feed out of the hole.
Bring it back to Petco and say it was broken when you open the box. Yep.
Exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Except it was my own store that I worked at, Pet Supplies Plus. It was broken. I
Nano,
opened
nano,
it up and it
hello.
was broken.
It broke and I didn't do it.
Yep, they even have little hangers, command hangers. Yep, command hangers are great for the lid handles. Yep.
Oh, Steven, did you get your t-shirts? I'm looking now and it says it was delivered. Did you get them?
Also, those command hooks, you can use those if you're wanting something a little bit more like kind of permanent or whatever. You can like super glue or like kind of glue them to the back of your tank, and you can use the hook to hang plants, or like if you have a pothos that you want to start vining out, you can use that to like kind of hook the vine in on the back of the tank, so you can have the vine going along the tank really nice. uh, or any other type of like vining plant that you can grow in the water, you can kind of do that.
You wore it
Or
on McStreamy last night. I didn't even notice. Ugh. Thank you.
I used a command strip to uh, hang a little bitty one of those uh, plant baskets that come when you buy your aquatic plant. Just one of those little baskets, the hook fit right through the side, and so I hooked that on, filled it with a little bit of leca, and had a little plant. I had a spider plant growing out of, this tank at one point, you know, a long time ago. Well, actually, it was my 40-gallon breeder in this spot uh, that I had that. I also had a pineapple growing out of there at one point, but I should have put that pineapple in dirt, and then I'm gonna try growing a pineapple again at one of these days, because this is one guy that was growing a pineapple inside, and if I can find the right spot to grow that, I'm gonna do that because I like pineapple. Actually, fresh pineapple is really good.
Nice.
Yep, you can use those hooks on the back of tanks to hold cords too. If you go on the outside of the tank. Oh man. Thank you everybody for joining us. We got about, a little less than 20 minutes left, so make sure you've hit that like button if you haven't already, and jump over to the other channel and hit the like button as well. And you know, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is it time already? No, it's not time. We got a little bit of
Now
time.
we got like 18 minutes now.
18 minutes.
Sandra, come here, kitty cat. Ugh.
Kitty! Oh, where's me? Hold on. Miko! Miko! Is that my baby boy? Miko! I'm trying to call Miko, but I think he's sleeping.
So there was an awesome swap today. Cool.
Ooh! Apparently there was a reptile show here at the St. Charles Convention Center.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
not the machinist hall, like in the St. Charles Convention Center. Apparently, was a big reptile
Yeah,
show.
the show me snakes. They travel around to different areas. They're actually they go all around Missouri. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they put on some great shows. If I would have known, I would have potentially gone. Maybe got myself a little tarantula or something.
Oh yeah, I need to look up the Maasai meeting. Is this coming up Thursday? I need to see if there's a speaker.
Oh, the mess I mean, man. There was I think it was an auction. The Maasai auction was last weekend, November 4th. I kind of, well, I was dealing with my car and my brakes and stuff like that, so I didn't go to that and just kind of didn't do anything on that Saturday other than the live stream. What are you doing? Was it? Oh, must have been on the East Coast, because Patty also has new babies and stuff too.
Babies.
Where was this swap at? You can't just be like, so there was an awesome swap today and not give us any information about it.
Fall auction is November 4th. That was this past. That
Yeah.
was last Saturday.
Yep, the
Whoopsie.
Maasai auction was last Saturday.
They don't have anything listed. Let me go to their website.
It was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Selective Breeding by Greg Sage. Meh. I don't breed fish, so might not go
Hmm.
to that one.
Yeah. I need to, well, I don't need to really do anything except just continue to wait. The swordtail babies are still growing. So whenever they start growing or reproducing more, I'll probably start selling swordtail babies sometime in the next year or so. You should have live streamed. Yes, you should have. I was actually kind of surprised. I was almost expecting Skipper to have a special like veterans live stream at some point today because he's tended to do that in the past, or at least did it last year and I think the year prior. But nope, you just get my stream this time. Thank you to all you fish fan veterans and non-fish fan veterans and everybody else. Veterans Day is always kind of a weird day
Yeah.
because it's like I don't ever like really try to seek any sort of validation or any sort of thing from my time in the military. Like that's one of the reasons I don't really tend to talk about it so much because I don't want everybody sitting there like, thank you for your service all the time and stuff like that. But like Veterans Day is like the one day in the year where I actually like put on the hat and kind of go around and like see what people do or whatever. And it's just kind of, I don't know if it's just me or what, but it seems like most people just don't really care at all about it being Veterans Day or not. Like I got a few like thank you for your service things from a couple other veterans that were like sitting next to me at like the restaurant and stuff like that when I was at like IHOP and things like that. But it's like it's like the one day I'm kind of out there kind of looking for the people to be like thank you for your service and like mentally preparing myself for all of that and kind of doing like what do you say when somebody does thank you for your service and all that sort of stuff. And
You say you're
then
welcome.
it's well yeah or like yeah well what I guess you're supposed to say is thank you for your support or whatever
Oh,
sort of
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But I don't know, like the whole interaction just is always a little strange too, because more or less I just did my job. I don't really feel like I did anything super special. I definitely didn't fight for my country like I more or less signed up for. Um, so I didn't serve the same way that the people served in World War II, where they were literally fighting for freedom and fighting for all that stuff. Like I was just kind of in another country doing my job after most of everything had already kind of been finished, and
Yeah.
just spent a lot of time playing my Xbox overseas too. So like
Yeah. Whoop, sorry.
I didn't go through the trenches, and I didn't see any sort of like real combat or anything like that. So I don't know. It always kind of feels weird to me too when people are like, "Thank you for your service," and like, I mean, yes, I did sign the dotted line, you know, to where I could have sacrificed my life or whatever, but like, and not everybody is willing to sign that dotted line, so there's that. But yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah. Chris
And
agrees.
I feel
Yeah.
awkward when people think, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I signed up because like my grandfather was in the army, and I think all of his brothers and stuff were in the military of some sort too, and they were just such great men that I wanted to be like them, and I also just kind of felt like it was something that everybody should do, and so I did, and definitely wasn't the same as like what
Wasn't
the
what you were
movies show you.
expecting. Yeah. Al, what sucks? Hello, hello.
What's up, Al? What sucks? But yeah, so like I like to thank the World War II vets for everything that they had to go through, because hearing my grandfather's story, like he pretty much did like overall the same level of service that I did, but it was so much different for him. And it was kind of more or less the equal and opposite too, because he was in like a combat zone. Like I was technically in a combat zone. I got my combat pay and hazard pay and all that, but I didn't see anything. I never got shot at, as far as I know. And like he said the same thing. Like I never got shot at, at least as far as I know. If I did, they missed. and
Badly.
but he was a postal worker for Third ID, which was that's what I think is really cool too. Is I got to, even though I wasn't part of Third ID, they were like I still have the same patch that my grandfather had, and but he was a postal worker, but he was in France during World War II, and he was saying that like that was the coldest he had ever been. The coldest and wettest he had ever been. He actually ended up getting frostbite on his feet, and he never actually ended up losing any toes or anything like that. But yeah, like whereas I was in Iraq, and that was the hottest that I had ever been. So yeah, it's like equal and opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's
I felt like
crazy.
his level of service was just still just like a whole different thing than mine.
Yep.
And he never really talked about it much either. It wasn't until I got I think it was when I was in high school, I had some sort of assignment for like a Veterans Day thing where we were supposed to like interview a veteran. And so I, asked my grandfather if I could, interview him. And yeah, that was how I got all of the stories that I just told you guys now about, because it was the interview that I did. Other than that interview I did with my grandfather, he just never talked about it. He did his time that he was, you know, drafted for pretty much. Or no, he signed up like before he got drafted. But yeah, he pretty much he did his 4 years and he was done. I did my 4 years and I was done. And it's Yeah, it's really interesting. You know, and I wonder if I can. It was in my memories. I wonder if it'll pop up on my Google Photos. Yes, it did.
I found it.
Pause.
Pause.
This I it says 5 years since this picture is dated November 11th, 2018, but that's not the year that this picture was taken. That was the last year that this picture was posted on Facebook because somebody, my family or whatever, would always reshare this picture every Veterans Day on Facebook. And I think this was in, let's see, I was a private at that time and I didn't have all my patches. So this was right after AIT, I believe. I just finished that. So this would be in 2008, I believe. Maybe 2009. No, 2008. This was 2008. Yeah, I think I was still a senior in high school or just finished my senior year of high school. And yeah, we were heading out to a special like Veterans Day event that they had in Steelville, Missouri, where they were had like it was like a special like USO event thing, and it I think they were like singing a bunch of like old school like USO military songs like Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy and stuff like that, and kind of going through all the different like generations of the military, and it was a pretty cool presentation, and they ended up actually pulling me up on stage at one point because I was like the only person there in the modern military outfit. And so at one point they pulled up like one person from each generation to kind of show how all the uniforms had changed over time and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool to stand up next to all the other army veterans in a row like that. And I think my grandfather was up on stage with me too, so that was pretty sweet.
Aw.
But yeah, my grandfather and I, like, I'm not sure if you guys saw it or not, but we actually look a lot alike too. So I miss him a lot. He's been gone for 4 or 5 years now, I think. And it's like he was the smartest man ever. He built his entire house, did
Oh.
all the electric work, did all the bricklaying, did all the plumbing, everything. Like people nowadays, when they say, "Oh, I built my house," no, you didn't. You helped design it, and you paid a contractor and an architect and all this other stuff to build it for you with all their heavy machinery and things. My grandfather built his house from scratch, did everything on his own. Maybe had his brothers help him some too, I think, but it's just like it's amazing. And my dad, you know, was very much book smart. He's a pharmacist, and he's kind of handy here and there, but I think it was like last year or something like that I was having some issues with my heater, and I was like asking my dad, like, what do I do? It's like, I have no idea.
Oh.
Uh, if my dad was still around, like I would ask him, and he'd sure come and help and all of that. But he's not around anymore. And so I think we ended. It was my other grandfather that ended up coming by and helping. But it's just like, man, like we don't have men like that anymore.
No.
No matter how much I wish I was a man like that, I'm pretty handy in certain ways. I could survive if I had to, but I am not a mechanic by any means. I don't know anything about that stuff, and like I'm having issues with my heater right now. It's just like
Oh
I don't know
no!
what to do. I don't know if I call an electrician. I don't know if I call an HVAC guy. I don't know if I just need to buy a new thermostat. But all this stuff is going crazy, and I feel like I'm just gonna end up spending way more money than I need to just because I don't know how to diagnose it myself.
Yep. Hmm.
Grandfather drowned. Oh, I say I went to my father. Just the smallest thing to mention would send chills up my spine. My grandmother was an army nurse who was supportive of my decision, and my mother was terrified. At one point, she was told my father was killed in action in Vietnam, but it was my grandfather who drowned at our cabin. Wow. Start with HVAC. They're almost half electricians. Electricians aren't half HVAC.
I know an
Yeah,
HVAC guy. I have a family member who owns an HVAC company, so I will send you his info.
there's we have a family member who's an HVAC guy as well, or I think he's a cousin of a cousin or something like that. I may ask to see what that is, or I've always thought about calling that Bart Inman guy. You don't know Bart Inman? You must not listen to the radio because he's like the world's most annoying uh,
HVAC commercial.
advertisement. But
That's
he,
funny.
he's I don't know. I don't think he's like super annoying, but he's just got kind of a a drolling sort of voice and just kind of makes really sort of corny jokes. And a lot of his commercials aren't even like really advertising. It's just him kind of like, yeah, so stuff isn't like what it used to be, but hey, it's getting cold out there. So if you need your heater checked out or something like that, just call me Bart Inman. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I at 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Okay. Bye. Like that's his radio
That's his radio
commercials.
commercial. It sounds like a voicemail.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like terrible voicemails are his whole way of advertising on the radio. But, you know, he does seem like he probably would do good work. So, and he tells some weird stories and stuff on his little short, like 60-second commercials too, about how like he was in school and he was basically told that he would never amount to anything, and then he went to Rankin and went into HVAC, started his own business, and now he gets to see what he built, and he's happy every day that he goes home, and you know makes enough money to do what he needs to do and all that. So it's just like, hey, he's living the
Yeah.
American dream.
Yee. Yee.
But all right, everybody, we're a little bit over time now. Thanks for joining us for another awesome episode of Fish and Friends with Danny and Gina. Another special thank you for your service to all of our veterans out there on this Veterans Day as it comes to a close. Um, Veterans, we should support you guys, all the time, not just on Veterans Day, but all the time because, I don't really feel like I did the same, but everybody, you guys make a bunch of sacrifices and stuff like that every day in your life. And your families also make even more sacrifices having to deal with all the stuff as well, of you guys being there and then being gone and all that different stuff. So happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
I salute you guys. Thank you so much. And we will see you next week on another awesome episode of Fishing Friends.
Bye.
So long, and thanks for the fish.